Good morning, everyone. I'm so delighted to be here. I love Fridays for so many reasons. Not because it's Friday and we look forward to it all week. I mean, we kind of do, right? But Fridays have come to have a different meaning with quarantine since every day feels like a Monday, Friday, Sunday, whatever. So I'm so delighted you're here. Fridays are really special to me because this is the day that I interview my people. And today there's my girl. I see her. Melanie is on, so she's just gonna join me, and we'll get started with today's episode of You Need to Hear This. Yay! I'm so excited. It's gonna be a good one. Okay, as soon as I get the request, we'll get started. It's coming. Here it goes. Hi.
Hi, girl. How are
How I'm
you?
so good. I'm so happy to see you. Oh my God.
Likewise. Even though
How
I felt like I hung out with you last night
I know.
during your Paloma. Hey, Takesha.
While we were
Make me.
drinking.
I was like, well, I was laying down in bed watching you do all this, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was just funny because I don't know if you know this, but I really love Palomas as well. And
Oh,
so as you were making that, I wanted to like type all this stuff, but I was just like, I'm just gonna lay here and watch her make it and see how she makes it. Um, but I have some Paloma variation for you if you ever are interested.
I'm interested. I'm interested, and it's Friday, and I've still got
It
the
is Friday.
yes, yes. Yes.
So if you ever go to Whole Foods or do an order on total segue from our what we're talking about, but hey, we're kicking it off with cocktails. At Whole Foods in the drink aisle, they have a Italian soda
Okay.
that comes in a glass, and
Okay.
there's a pink grapefruit Italian soda.
Got it.
Girl, all you have to do is add your silver Patron or silver whatever, and I agree with you. It's what I mean, not like, Jose Cuervo, but definitely a nicer brand tequila, but anything silver, add that to that Paloma in your little salt and just a touch of girl, listen. Listen, and I've shared this before on my Instagram, but like I keep those bottles in this house. Like the kids are like, oh, there she goes with her pink
What we're
grapefruit.
drinking.
They like know, like not even to touch it. They're like, oh yeah, no, we will just drink this lemonade or this other juice over here. Yeah.
Right,
Anyway,
because correct. That's Mama's drink. Let's
yeah,
be clear. Let's turn up my volume a little bit. That is so funny. And that's
yeah,
gonna so it's 9 o'clock here. As soon
yeah,
as we're done, I'm going to Whole Foods.
yeah.
I
Good.
just need to be prepared for today.
Ooh, yes, it's Friday.
Yeah, girl,
Oh
yes.
my gosh.
Okay, so how are you doing in life? You doing good?
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's a loaded question, and everybody asks that. So I'm trying to be truthful. I mean,
Yeah.
but to be honest, I have good days and I have days where I am literally bawling, crying in bed, can't move.
Hmm.
My heart just hurts so much for, so much loss of
Hmm.
life, and my
Hmm.
kids are suffering from, being separated and isolated from their
Yep.
friends.
Yep.
And I have a senior who graduated high school.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
girlfriend missed her prom, her
Okay.
graduation. So, my heart hurts for my kids. I mean, I could be
Absolutely.
isolated all for years, you know what I mean? Like,
Totally.
but
Yeah.
but I had big plans too to like do some in-person things as well. But more than
Yeah.
that, I mean, it's just been a struggle. Some days I'm up, some days I'm down.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we're just gonna get through it one day at a time, right?
Yeah.
Like,
It's all one day at a time. The loss, like that's so a few weeks back I had do you know Amy Steele? She's Beauty Counter.
mm-mm.
She is a clinical psychologist. And so I had her on twice and we talked about just like the massive loss during this
Oh,
time
so much
for
grief, just
people. And
grieving.
yeah, a lot of grieving. And then, I find that I get a lot of messages. People will ask me like, hey, are you going to say anything about, you know, and the shootings, the death, the anything, and I, you
Mm-hmm.
know, like, and I feel like it's every week that they're,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm like, well, I feel like this month I've posted about it so much because, oh, it happens every week. And
Right.
so this week in particular, I I'm so emotionally tapped out that I'm like, actually, I think I need you to say something.
Same. Mm-hmm. I
It's
am
not
very
about
tapped
me
out.
saying it. You say it and you keep saying it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I can't constantly be the teacher of, y'all, this is racism. And like my spirit, like honesty, like is broken this week.
Yeah, mine
And
too.
I'm like, I don't want to, I cannot. And so,
Yeah. Yep.
and
Yep.
you know,
Same.
it's, and I think that, and the people who reach out to me are the most are like my white friends, and they're
Hey,
like,
Sherry.
um, you
Yes,
know, they're
Takesha.
so concerned, and I get it. And I'm like, and one of the reasons I can't is because I turn and I look at my black children, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, there's the difference is that if you're not looking at your black kids, you're not constantly reminded of this every
Yep.
single second of the day. And I mean, this is, we totally are digressing, but I
No,
think
but this is important.
as women of color, like, we're exhausted.
So
We're
tired.
exhausted.
So
And so
exhausted.
even the Beauty Counter Consultants of Color Facebook page, you know, there's a lot of chatter this week of, how am I supposed to even work? How am I supposed to
Right.
make lunch? How am I supposed to?
Right.
I can barely get through the day because not only do you just feel the oppression, but you feel like, I don't matter. Like, do I
Yep.
even matter? Like, I don't know if I trust anybody to care for me. Okay, and what about my kid? I see, like, all of those things. It's too much. It's
So
too much.
true, Takesha. Takesha's saying we can't pretend we're not black in conversations this week. Like you just
Correct.
can't. You
You're
just
right.
can't. You just
Absolutely.
can't. And
Yep.
it's not, and you know, I mean, I love all the, you know, women of color and African American. I was like, no, we black. We
Yeah.
black.
But all, yeah.
That's
That's
my
correct.
perspective. But you
Yeah.
know, we're just, and you have, and I have black children, and I'm like so worried about my brother and
Of course.
you know, my daughter's father and, you know, all
Yep.
the black men in my life, my father, and just like even myself. Like I was up late last night walking, getting some fresh air. It was just 12 o'clock, midnight, and I'm on a residential street and kind of road. But I was like, would a car pass? I was like, ooh,
Yep.
why do I
Yep.
not even feel comfortable and safe anymore in my own neighborhood? I don't know.
Absolutely.
It's just too
Yep.
much. It's too much. I don't
Yes,
know.
it is. I have massive anxiety to walk in my neighborhood, to run, like, I mean, all of it.
Right,
Like, so I need you to,
right.
I mean, yeah, I mean, when my
Yeah.
kids and I are out, like, just a little simple thing. Like, I was explaining to someone this week, little things that you just know that you don't even think to say to people. But so
Hmm.
I've run forever and ever and ever. And I don't like to run on beaches, or like, that's boring to me. I like to run in neighborhoods just because I love architecture and I love looking at houses and I love design. And so it's more interesting. So, um, when I run through neighborhoods, I was telling her that I know that if I see a cool looking house, and in California, there's all these cool mid century modern homes that I love to look at.
Totally.
And so if I see a house that looks good and I want to stop and look at it, I give myself 1 second, 1,000, and then I go. Like, that's just something
Yeah,
in my, you know, we know this.
for
I'm not
sure.
going to stand because I know that I don't have the right to stand and look at people's homes, right?
I
Like,
did. I
without
did.
the concern of, oh, is this, probably isn't a good idea for me. And she was like, wait, what? I'm
Yeah,
like,
that
yeah, this is, I mean, there are
that's
8 million things
real.
in our day that we just know, like, I'm never going to be given the benefit of the doubt. So,
Yeah,
um, it is exhausting. And I just
yeah.
wanted to like check in with you because I mean,
Thanks. Yeah, for sure.
every one of us is feeling it, something fierce this week.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, out
Deep
with
breaths
the
in.
bad, in with the good. The good is that
Deep
there
breaths
are,
in.
my hope is that there are just an army of women, of men, of people who are like, I want to be an ally, and I want to
Yeah,
start that work right now because
yeah,
people's
for
lives
sure.
depend on it. And so I have hope. I do have hope. But I'm
Me too.
really grateful for you. You have been
Aw.
Oh, y'all, I keep telling everyone this woman she is from day one, she has been just a source of like brilliance and encouragement and like someone I want to be. So, okay,
You
so let's get
are
started.
so sweet.
Since we've like real tea from the beginning, like back up and let
Yeah.
everyone know who you are. Melanie Hernquist, where do you live? Tell me just a little bit about,
Oh,
Melanie.
yeah. Well, I live right outside of Atlanta, Georgia. Um, I'm a mom of two kiddos. Like I said, my daughter Zoe just graduated high school. She's 17. She's going to Spelman College in the fall. So yeah,
That's so
we're
cool.
really excited about that.
Yeah.
And she's just such a warm, sweet, smart gal, so concerned with the world, very like politically, activist thinking. Like actually yesterday I had to tell her, stop looking at videos, of black people being terrorized. Basically, she was on TikTok or something. I was like, just stop, girl, because it's not good for us
Yeah.
mentally. But
Right.
she's a firecracker. And then my son, Henry, is 8, and I mean, he's 8, he's crazy. And my husband, David, been working from home since March, and he's just so fun to be around. He's a developer at CNN. So yeah, we are just kind of in our little home. We've lived here in this house for 5 years and have just kind of started to turn our mind into making this our little sanctuary, since
Yeah.
the world is like, you need to go outside and get vitamin D, but
Right.
I mean, I'm fine with the social distancing and being outside and all that, but we're just like, let's just make this as nice as we can. So we've been renovating our house and ripping apart kitchens and
Yeah.
making the yard nice and just trying to have, make memories for the kids. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Absolutely.
in a
Absolutely.
nutshell.
In a
Native
nutshell,
Atlantan and all
I,
that good stuff.
well, I feel like I don't know, like furniture brands are probably like sales are through the roof. People are like, my home
Right.
needs some work, and if I'm gonna do everything here, we need to get this snatched. So,
Yes.
okay, so just a little bit about Melanie. Like she has been in, I mean, I don't even know the full scope of everything she's done. She's done so much, but I do know that you were a killer in working for Stella and Dot a few years, a few
Oh
moons ago,
God.
and
Yes.
then
When the dinosaurs roam.
You worked for Beauty Counter Corporate, and that's how we met because you were mentoring women of color, and then
Sorry, hold
you
on.
no,
The
go ahead.
teenager. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Mama
Yes.
moments always come first.
Yeah.
This is like real.
It really
Um,
is.
and then right after uh, Beauty Counter, you went to, and it's just like it just popped out of my head.
It's called Seiko Design.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Seiko. Yep, Seiko. And it's beautiful, sustainable
Yeah.
fashion that also has like an incredible purpose and mission. And
Yes.
then, which has led you, and I don't know if you're still there.
Nope.
Okay. And then as another side hustle, because this woman is the queen of like, she's just so entrepreneurial, has had this lovely, beautiful blog and website for a long time called Lucky and Lovely, which is her, first, brand, or
Yep.
like the brand that most of you know her for. And she does in business entrepreneurial coaching. And so also has the coolest clothing and like swag. And I also think here's another shirt suggestion because I'm always texting her like, here are my shirt suggestions. I want this shirt, this shirt, this. I want one that says "Protect Black Men."
Oh, that would be a cool one.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I
Yeah.
want that. And I want to get one for my husband too, who's not a black man, but he would still wear it. So that's my idea. So
You definitely
and
would.
then and now she is the owner of an incredible company called Everly Organics. And so we're going to talk about like crazy ideas. So that I'll use that as my segue to
Hey,
like tell
Patrol.
me about your crazy idea. Tell me like how'd you get here?
I know, right? So yeah, so after working for sharing my friends like each other's suggestions.
Just
So
saying.
yeah, so I worked for those beauty brands and fashion brands in corporate for many, many years. And then but because a lot of people know me through my Hey for Child, my Lucky and Lovely brand, I've always feel like I've worked for myself and established my own brand, but then
Yeah.
worked just as hard, or if not harder, for other larger, more corporate brands as well on behalf of them, either as like an independent consultant or in corporate as a trainer and things like that.
Hmm.
And so I always have heard for years and years, not just even with starting Lucky and Lovely, but even before that, I actually owned a stationery store in Pasadena,
Wow.
California. When I lived in California, I don't know if you know, I lived in California for 5 years
No.
in South, yeah, in LA. But that was like back in like 2005 to
Okay.
2009. Well, actually, no, 2003 to 2009. And so
Yep.
anyway, so I set up this store and it was called Lucky Papery. And so when I left LA and sold the store, I didn't want to, it wasn't, I knew I didn't want to just have just paper. So that's how it kind of like morphed into Lucky and Lovely. But back then to now, my friends, good friends, people who know me, had been like, you have style, you have great taste, you know how to put things together beautifully. Like you should have your own brand. You should be in Target. You should be this and you should be that. So when your friends tell you this for years and years, you're like, girl, whatever, I ain't gonna be in no Target, you know. And then as like the years have evolved, I'm seeing like as Target connects with independent and like more indie
Yeah.
brands, like,
Yep.
wait, okay, this is somewhat possible. Like, okay,
Yeah.
so I'll just, create my brand, just build it, and they will come eventually. It's not like I don't think I can be in Target, but that's not really my intention. But I just knew that, like, okay, fine, I'll just create it. Like, you guys think this well enough of me? Yeah, I have talent. Okay, fine. So I created Lucky and Lovely. And so for Everly, what happened is after leaving Beauty Counter and working in beauty and in direct sales for so long, it I realized like I was missing something in the beauty world and that I wanted to bring to the table and I wanted to make a
Mm-hmm.
seat at the table. But there was also this other layer of the friends and the family and the network of women who I've connected with throughout social media and in person as well, being like, girl, you know your stuff. You know clean beauty. You're an authority. People love you. People trust you. You know you walk the walk. You talk the talk. Like your skin looks great. You've transformed it. Like you're living the lifestyle. Where's your beauty line? And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
girl, I can't do that. Like in my mind, I'm like, I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to, set up a brand and manufacture products. But the cool part is having worked for Beauty Counter and other smaller now emerging brands,
Mm-hmm.
and from the inside, I knew some of the in-depth details that it's not like you don't have to have like a factory or whatnot. You know what I mean? If you want to
Right.
create a brand, or you can just be a woman in your home, in your kitchen, like Lisa
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
from,
Yep.
you know,
That's rough.
so Price from Carol's Daughter. Like I
Yes.
remember
Lose
living in
price.
Brooklyn. Yeah, I remember living in Brooklyn when I lived in Brooklyn, New York, and her store when she had her store in Brooklyn, New York.
Mm.
Or I would literally go to her store, and I remember looking at, I remember, and I bought things there, and it was like she makes it in the back or whatever, but she started making it in her kitchen, and then she got the store, and now she's like,
Yep.
boom, right? And this was
Yep.
years ago.
Yep.
And so I knew that, okay, you know what? That it is what it is. Like I am just going to go for it. So and I
Mm-hmm.
knew that there were certain things that I was missing, and I wanted, number one, there were certain products and things that I was missing, but number two, I really wanted to make a seat at the table for women, Black women founders of beauty brands, not just like working for them, not just
Yep.
like, because there's millions of brands, hundreds of thousands probably marketed to Black women, but
Sure.
they don't necessarily have people who look like me who founded it, who created it, who started it, or even who are in
Correct.
executive positions. So
Yeah.
I really didn't set out to like change the world, but I definitely set out to like be like, I know what I'm talking about. I know what my people will love,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna give it to them. So that was
Yep.
how it
Yep.
started.
That's incredible. I also
Yeah.
didn't know that you had lived in so many different spots.
Just those two, New York
Okay.
City and then LA for a little
The good
while.
ones.
Yeah,
You picked some good
totally.
ones. Yeah,
Totally.
yeah. Um, okay, amazing. So you're at Everly. So talk to me about like with all of this experience, you decided, okay, I want to start my own skincare brand. What was it? What did you see? What were the things in the market that you saw were missing? You obviously, Black owned, operated, C-suite people who are all Black products. That's definitely a gap. Like what did you set out to create product wise?
Okay, so oh, is someone asking if they can shop Everly through Lucky and Lovely or if they can just shop?
Oh
So
yeah, good
yeah, if
question.
you want to clarify your question. So um wait, ask me the question again. There's a
Okay,
little bit
sorry.
left my
Okay,
brain.
and so and we'll totally take questions. Like there's gonna be a part at the end we're gonna take questions. So like how can they shop with
What
you,
was I
buy from you?
missing? What did I
So
set out to create? Okay,
for those of you,
so
but yeah, what was missing in the market that you were like, I'm going to make this?
okay, so I knew, okay, so having been a consultant for Beauty Counter and different brands, like independent consultants and working like kind of like on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
floor, front lines, if you will, I knew that like when I would go into people's homes and have like socials and conversations, like women were like, I don't have a lot of time for a routine of a immense step regimen.
Yeah.
But, and I know, and I had struggled deeply with like acne scarring.
Hmm.
So, I didn't struggle with like a lot of hormonal acne that kind of like lingered and never left and like was a constant struggle. Although I have a lot of friends who do struggle with
Yeah.
that. But what I struggled with is when I do get something, it would mainly center here or here and
Okay.
it would leave a scar. Right.
Mm.
And so with the products that I had to work with, given, the business in a box model, I was able to like and solve those problems for my customers, but it was really taking like one and two high potency products and delivering the solutions to that problem because I struggle with it. People would raise their hand and go, oh girl, I struggle with that too, what you got?
Yep.
So I knew that I wanted to like make them very like minimal and simple and highly effective,
Hmm.
like not necessarily like a regimen but more of a ritual of
Yeah.
a sense
Mm.
that like people could feel excited to get up and wash their face and
Absolutely.
know, or lay down and go to bed, wash their face before they go to bed. But and also the something that is starting to see a difference after, using it.
Yeah.
And thirdly, that it did not cost that was more approachable in price. We'll just put it that way.
Sure.
Like I just wanted
Sure.
something to be, I wanted my line to be like under $60, all the
Yep.
products, so
Yep.
that people felt like they were getting a great value. They didn't have to spend $200 or $300, for products for their skin. They had money left
Hmm.
over to, do the hair and the nails and the other things that they wanted to do, but also it just
Absolutely.
wasn't so burdensome and taking up so much time. So
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
basically, yeah.
Absolutely. So then, so tell me about the products. Tell me
Oh,
like about the product. Like I'm so excited. Like tell me all the things.
all the things. Okay.
Hmm.
Well, we launched with two products.
Okay.
The other thing was I knew that I wanted to incorporate CBD into my
Okay.
entire brand story
Mm.
because I knew about CBD and I knew that it was effective not
Hmm.
only internally, but also topically for your skin
Hmm.
and helps immensely with inflammation and redness and acne and things like that, which are just
Right.
common issues and so that people deal with skin wise. And it kind of, I knew that I knew if I wanted to bring a brand to market, I wanted to be, you know, ahead of the curve and innovative. Not that it was so innovative, but just more so like I wanted to be riding that wave of, products with what I was bringing. So not every single product has CBD in it, but it's kind of like our pillar for
Hmm.
our wellness and some of our more, I would say, highly potent active skincare
Sure.
products. So what we launched with were two. It's kind of like beauty and wellness, so skincare and wellness. So we launched with one product in each category,
Okay.
and the first is our Fresh Edit Instant Glow Oil Cleanser. So I have it here. This is the
Oh,
cleanser,
yeah.
and it's in a little pump and it's such a nourishing like ritual. And the other thing is I love a multitasker. So
Yeah.
if you haven't done oil cleansing, which I know you know all about oil cleansing,
Yeah.
but it's an incredibly nourishing oil cleanser that you
Yeah.
can take off all the makeup, dirt pollution, all that good stuff. And it has some really just potent oils in it. There's jojoba oil, which is very close to our skin's own um, oils that are sebum that our skin
Yeah.
produces anyway. There's tamanu
Right.
oil, there's sea buckthorn, there's
Mm,
geranium. Yeah, I mean, it's just, and there's
good stuff.
lavender. That's so good. Um, and it's just a really nourishing oil cleanser. But what I love about it is you can tap a little bit back onto your skin as,
Mhm.
you know, a moisturizer. And a lot of my customers are doing that and they're loving that.
Mm,
There's no CBD in there. There is hemp seed oil, but there's
okay.
no like CBD in there. And
Okay.
then we have our supplement on the wellness side. This is our Calm
Mm,
CBD tincture, which you take orally underneath your tongue. I'm seeing questions. So if you
yeah.
can read the questions,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
keep up with them. So you take the Calm CBD tincture underneath your tongue.
Okay.
It's a full spectrum 1000 milligram CBD supplement. So not to get too deep into like the ins and outs of CBD, but I definitely would do
Yes. Let's
a
talk. That was
live
my
on
next
this later.
question.
Yeah.
People are very interesting. So let's take that time and talk about CBD.
Hi, Margie. So with CBD, it is a compound found in the hemp, in industrial hemp plant, which is in the family of cannabis. So there's hemp and then there's marijuana. So it's not marijuana, but it's hemp.
Yep.
And thankfully to the Farm Bill, like, you know, farmers are allowed to grow it in certain states,
Yes.
and which is
Yes.
so good. And the
Good.
compounds within CBD react with our bodies. We have an endocannabinoid system in our body, which
Mm,
basically is and works with our receptors, and it influences our immune system, our nervous system, and the lymphatic system. Like all the symptoms of the body, the receptors are talking to each other
yep.
and create the balance that we need. Well, when it gets off balance, that's when you experience pain or inflammation or anxiety, which is really because I'm not a doctor, guy, by the way. I'm not even a CBD expert, but I understand what my product does for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it basically supports those functions of balance in the body, and it basically supports those receptors so that it puts you back into balance. And
Mm,
because with anxiety, what a lot of times, and I am definitely an expert on anxiety and having panic attacks.
mhm.
And the another reason why I brought this product to market is because I really had a hard time when I lived in LA with panic attacks and anxiety
Mm,
attacks, and like straight up anxiety, like generalized anxiety disorder. Like I was like diagnosed with that, right? And
sure.
so I was given Xanax and all kinds of, you know, pharmaceuticals, which basically just put you to sleep so you
Yeah.
don't have a panic
Sure.
attack.
Yeah.
Um,
Not treating
but
anything.
no, but really what it is there's too much cortisol, there's too much adrenaline. And
Yeah.
so because things are off balance. And so what I love about CBD is that it calms all of that down,
Yeah.
and it helps with your inflammation within the body and your pain
Yeah.
response. So
Yeah.
that is those are the two right now, but we are releasing three new products in the
Ooh.
next, yeah, I know, in the next one in the next day or so, and then two more very soon. And so our next product, which I'll give you a little sneak peek, doesn't have
Yeah.
the packaging on it. So this is called our, so wait, is this the Celestial or is this the, yeah, okay, this is the Celestial Glow Serum. And in this little bottle is our one of like our like flagship skincare products. And it is a combination of hyaluronic acid
Hmm.
and glycolic acid and CBD, 100 milligram strength CBD. And what this is doing is it is a multitasker that moisturizes and exfoliates
Oh wow.
all in one. So it's a serum that you
Yeah.
apply
Yeah.
after you cleanse,
Wow.
and it's going to draw in that air, moisture from the air, and keep your skin all plump and gorgeous. And it's
Hmm.
also working to with that cell turnover with that
Yep.
glycolic acid in there, girl.
Yep.
And then with the redness, that CBD is just massaging all of
Taking
that
care of
away. So
that. Oh,
yeah,
that's
so I'm really
incredible.
excited about that.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Yeah. That's
yeah,
incredible.
yeah,
Oh
it's
my gosh.
insane. Yeah.
Do you
Um, Go for it. Yeah,
No,
question.
I was gonna say, do you find that do people have like are they hesitant to like buy a CBD product? Do you find that like do you have to constantly like educate people, or do you feel like, it's becoming more just, more popular, you're seeing it everywhere? Like what does that work look like for you, the consumer education side?
So it's definitely heavy on the consumer education side because, as you mentioned, it's new. You don't know a lot about it. You don't even know like what it does. Yes, the liquid exfoliant is amazing, by the way. So what just said, I'm using it right now. I don't have any makeup on. Yeah, I just have
I think
blush and
so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but I find that so we are offering education on our website. It's not as robust as I would like it, but as we develop our site, we'll have a blog that really dives into some, topics of CBD that people most have on their minds, such as
Yeah.
for the ingestibles, like how much should I take, or
Yeah.
what's the dosage? Um, what are the difference between mentioned our CBD that we use, but there's actually different types of CBD, different
Mhm.
ways that it's extracted from the plant that are safer and less,
Mhm.
abusive to the plant and maintains all of the compounds that are most beneficial to the body in the
Yeah.
plant. So there's different extraction methods. So we'll be breaking that down. But as far as my approach for selling right now, we just launched last month. So I wouldn't say that I am so having to convince people. I find that like people who know about CBD and have used other brands are have been trying mine and are willing to try it and are
Yeah.
loving it actually.
Yeah.
I've had great response with our tincture, or people are feeling like they haven't slept in 10 years and now they're finally sleeping better
Wow.
and they just feel
Okay.
like the edge
I'm
is
so
taken off. Yeah.
yeah.
And which is amazing because I went to Denver, I went to Colorado and Nevada, and I went to Oregon. I met with formulators and farmers and like went to factories to see all this being made. And then so I was very intentional about like who I partnered with to make sure that, if I didn't love it and believe in it, I mean, I wasn't going to put it out. And I tested so much different CBD. You should see,
Mhm.
like, I have like a beauty closet here, and there's different bottles and boxes from so many different brands that I was able to get samples from. And you
Yeah.
can't just, it's not like a, one day thing. So it takes several weeks for me to see, okay, do I feel like this is, I'm loving this or I'm feeling better? And some
Sure.
and if I didn't, it was just the reject pile.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
That's a
but
long process.
for sure. But I would say for people who are looking for CBD, like you want to partner with a brand who, or you want to choose a brand that, has transparency through their supply chain and that will
Yes.
literally tell you like our CBD grows in Western Colorado. I know the plant, I know the farmers, I know the formulation facilities, I know like every person who works there. Like I believe in them. I know that, they care about what they're putting out. It's not, I think a lot of the hype now is like people are like, ooh, beware, some CBD is it's not all real, or it's, you have to beware of where it comes from, and that's true. But I will say that like for people who there are people who are really passionate about this plant and what it
Mhm.
does for your body and what it can do for the world. And for those people, I mean, they are fiercely protective of the quality and the integrity of what they're putting out because they know, and as I am myself, that, one bad, testimonial or experience from a customer standpoint is the detriment of your entire brand. So you
Correct.
cannot, it's not worth it to try to cut corners
Right.
for that. So yeah.
Right. No, that's so good. I keep seeing comments. People are like, "Gimme, gimme, I want." So yeah, and so
Oh, let me
amazing.
tell you about the other two products that are coming
Oh
out
yeah,
because
yeah,
they
yeah.
will. Okay, so we have two more products coming out like in the immediate future, probably by the end, well, probably by mid-May. So make sure you sign up for our newsletter because I announced the new releases. But what I love most is that I get sore muscles sometimes and like creaks in my neck, or right
Mhm.
now, like in my neck, it's feeling better, but it's very tense because of it just locked up when that poor man got killed. I'm talking about, but and I hadn't been able to like get it out. But we have an incredible like balm that is packed with our CBD. So there's ways that you can take CBD to help you feel better. And one is
Yeah.
through ingesting it through gummies or tinctures like I have. And then other ways are through CBD bath bombs or like
Yeah.
salts or bath products or oils. And another like highly effective way is with balms and salves. So we have
Yeah.
one coming out
Excited about that.
that,
I need that.
girl, it has made like this shoulder right here, girl. I mean, it is like I have been. I mean, there's a knot there. There's literally a knot there. My husband's like, "Oh my God,"
Mm,
I had to get my kids to put their elbow on it. But the
yeah.
salve has really taken the edge off of that,
Oh,
and it's feeling better. So we have an
yeah.
incredible salve coming out. It's got organic coconut oil. It has rose hip. We use a lot of rose hip in our topical products. It
Yeah.
has lemongrass and lavender,
Yeah.
no, no fragrance oils. It's just organic lemongrass and lavender essential oils, which creates such an intoxicating, incredible smell.
Yeah.
I actually had a little bit of a headache last night, and I just put it on my temples.
Yeah.
Girlfriend was out.
Gone.
Like, yeah.
Gone. That's what somebody said. I don't want to smell like Ben Gay, but everything you
Oh
listed
no,
does not smell like Ben Gay.
smells incredible.
Yeah.
And then the third thing, oh my God, oh wait, actually there's another oil too. But so we have a honey that we are releasing. It is a CBD honey.
Oh,
It
like to
is,
eat.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
yeah. It has it's a 1 ounce little jar, and it has 25 milligrams of CBD in this one little jar. And so
Mm,
it's more of a sampler for you to kind of see, if it's a way to take CBD if you don't. So some people aren't into the planty tasting of the tincture, although we use peppermint in our tincture. So for me, I love it because in the morning I brush my teeth and then I add that, so I have like a little bit
yeah.
more pepperminty breath
Yeah.
for the rest of
Yeah.
the day. Some people don't want that, and we don't have an unflavored yet, and I don't know if I will do it. But anyway, this honey is what I love. I like to take a little bit at night, so I'll take a little bit and after my tincture and just like let it kind of melt in my mouth, and
Mm,
I don't know what's in this honey. Like I called my formulator and I was like, what the heck is in this honey? Like, is this some magic? I don't even know
mm,
what you're doing. But if you like a cup of tea
yeah.
at night to calm you, like a
Perfect. Oh,
chamomile, you add the CBD honey, girlfriend.
that's
And
fantastic.
yeah,
Yes, that's a dream.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
chamomile tea is the grossest tasting thing in the world, but
yeah,
I drink it because I'm
yeah,
like I want something to relax me. So that would be the perfect ad. Like that
yeah,
would make it
yeah,
taste great. That's
yeah.
so cool. And
And if
somebody's
you
asked,
just, oh, honey, yes,
yeah. Hmm,
yes.
okay.
I have a honey mask from another brand, and she uses Manuka honey
Hmm.
and spirulina in this mask
Hmm.
and some other things. And I find it sticky, and I found it, I wanted to eat the mask. But the other day I used the mask and I was like, maybe we should do a mask with the honey. So you never know what can come out. I mean, I
People
have
are
so
asking.
many things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So many good things on the horizon that, I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg, but
Oh, I'm so excited. And
yeah,
somebody asked about launch dates. So she already launched
yeah,
last month.
yeah,
So
we
two
launched last month.
products are already out.
We
And
launched with these.
where can they buy that? Where can they buy them?
So they can buy at Everly Organics. I'm going to put it right here in the
Okay.
comments. And then I see a
Okay.
question here. Can you read that question? So I put
I said it says, mask like a moisturizer cream delivery. Can you ask that again? I'm not sure what that means. Um, don't like the taste of chamomile here either. Yeah.
oh gosh, I
Okay.
know it's
Yeah.
terrible. Somebody
So
asked,
beautifully
yeah, this,
inspired. If you can ask that again, that would be great. Okay. Well, I don't want to keep you much longer. I know your time is very important. But okay. So people they have an idea and they want to do something and they've heard your
yes,
story and like, you've built your career and here's
yeah,
what's interesting about your story is people were telling you on like way back like,
yes,
no, you got it. Like, no, what,
yes,
and you spent a whole career working for other people.
yes,
And I think a lot of times, like we feel like, no, 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 no. Like, I got to work for somebody else because I really got to understand the industry or I really got to get the
yes,
education or whatever.
for sure.
Back then, people were like, no, no, you have it. So what what was the thing that bridged you from, what your friends already knew about you to the moment where you're like, enough of me working for them, I'm going to do this thing myself? Like, what was that thing that made you go, it's time?
Okay, so um I just okay, so it's interesting because I worked I worked for brands where like we had armies of women as entrepreneurs with their own businesses, right? And so, and I train women, as you mentioned, as a business coach. I don't have that as a core of my business anymore because like I really can only focus on so many things. And what I
Right.
realized is like I love creating products and brands more, I hate to say it, than I love coaching people because it's just, I just am more passionate about like making beautiful things and bringing them to life. Um, and so anyway, so what happened is I just kept thinking, okay, well, how do you do it? And okay, why not me type of thing. And
Yeah.
so I just started researching, honestly, like, okay, I knew I wanted certain products, and where do I go to have those products made for me? Because I knew that I wasn't the expert.
Hmm.
I'm not a formulator, I'm not a chemist, I'm not, any of that. I know I'm an entrepreneur and I know how to create beautiful brands.
Right.
And that's what I'm known for. But I knew what I wanted. Like I definitely wasn't this like, oh, wishy-washy, like, well, I don't know if I want to launch with like a tincture or no, I knew that I wanted the tincture, type of thing. And I didn't feel like I needed to work in any industry necessarily because I knew that everything, if it would be one more distraction from actually starting, like all of that would be, getting in the way of actually starting something.
Right.
And also, I mean, to be honest with you, I hate to say it, not hate to say it, but like I would say that the women who started some of the companies that I worked for, I knew specifically their story and I knew that they weren't experts in the businesses that they
Right.
ended up launching. So I was like, well,
You don't
if
have to.
Greg can make a beauty counter deal, why can't I? Kind of thing, I was like, well, why
Right.
not?
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
I mean, so that was I started there and I started with like what kind of thank you so much. What so you want to if you're in this situation where you're like, well, I want to bring something to life or I want to bring a brand to life or I want to bring a product line to the marketplace, you want to just start with like thinking about what problem does your product solve?
Hmm.
And that's one of the steps. You also want to think about like what is your mission or what is your why, I guess you could say. And mine was, like I said earlier, really to just make a seat at the table for Black women in beauty and
Yeah.
wellness because I had gone to conferences for wellness and I didn't see anyone who looked like me on stage talking about
Right.
wellness,
Yep.
talking about, and I was like, okay, there's sort of a um I don't want to say whiteness of wellness, but it just felt like I'm not invited to the table. So I was
Yeah.
like, well, I don't need to be invited to the table. I'm gonna make my own table, my own chairs, my own dinner, everything. I don't
Yeah.
need to do that. And, I want to, because my audience connects with me and I don't have to have the whole world shopping my brand, but I know that
Right.
I can sustain the life I want with my people who I'm able to reach organically who connect with me and my story and what I have to offer.
Yeah.
And I knew that that was enough. So that was my big why. And then I knew, well, I was like, well, what problems do I want my problem to solve? So I knew that right away. And
Yep.
then you just start to reverse engineer it. And my husband taught me this really cool thing because he's a coder, which is like, you want to think about your MVP, which is your minimally viable product. In other words, like, what is the like least amount of most simplest smallest thing you can like start with to and get to and actually complete, right? So I knew for me that was like what two products, one in beauty, one in wellness, do I want to launch with? And I wrestled with like, well, should it be four, should it be six, should it be all these things? And I was like, you know what, at the end of the day what we had resources for were the two, and I just said thank you Lord and launched with those two and didn't judge myself too much for it, and because that could be a real problem when you start judging yourself and you're like, oh
Right.
well, it's cheap, people are gonna, what are they gonna think, it's only two products. I was like, I don't even care, we gonna
Yep.
launch with these two products and it's gonna
Yep.
feel like Sephora,
Yep.
kind of thing.
Yep.
So that's what we did.
Yep. That's so
So
good. I think because like it's people get in their own way, and they get so in their
Totally.
head, and you know, they have analysis paralysis, and then they don't just go.
Totally.
But what I hear you say is you knew from like Jump Street what you wanted to put out there,
Thank
and
you.
you weren't going to, like, you knew that you didn't need a full line. Like, I think like a lie
Correct.
that you would tell yourself is, I have to have the whole thing right
Correct.
now. But
Yeah.
honestly, I mean, like, it's funny, as you know, I'm reading comments, and as you're like, okay, these two launched, and now we have this, and now we have that. I mean, it's
Correct.
exciting. You build excitement and like a brand loyalty, and a, I
Thank you.
cannot wait to see what she comes up with next. So I think that is brilliant. Look at your inspiration. You are doing your thing. I mean, this is super exciting. And so, like, anybody who's like, I want to do my thing, what step do I take today? What is it?
So the I would say the one big step as well, I wanted to make sure I mention this, is hey Jessica, I would understand that you cannot do all of the things.
Mhm.
So, and that was one thing I knew from the start. I knew that I needed to hire a team, because obviously I can't create these products
Right.
myself. I mean, I could make some of the beauty things myself, but that's not where my expertise is. So I hired people to do that. We hired formulators and labs and chemists, and we have incredible women. And I love that I have like created a team of myself of women after doing a lot of research and sampling so many products from different
Right.
formulators. And I love who we've settled on. And but I knew that like I wanted to have a team. I knew that I couldn't do all of the writing and social media and writing of the entire website and all the product descriptions and all that. So I would say investing, like understand like are you where you're what you're comfortable with? Are you comfortable investing your money into people to help you bring your dream
Mm.
to life?
Yes.
And we didn't have like a lot of money, but I took what I had and paid people to help me, and I'm so glad that I did, and I didn't cut that corner, because my website is incredible because I hired a writer to help me. And I knew what I could do in terms of visuals to bring it to life. I've hired photographers. I knew that the story wouldn't be told without strong visuals and words. And I knew, as I'm more of an art director in that sense of like, I can
Mhm.
bring together groups to make something come to life.
Yeah.
Not that I couldn't have written it, but I just knew it would have, like, that wasn't where I needed to focus. Like, I needed to focus
Right.
on this overall, putting it all together and launching, like actually doing the thing. And
Yeah.
so,
Yep.
um, just know, just be fiercely intentional about what you want to do. Don't be being all wishy-washy, like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I'm
Yeah.
not sure. No, you have to know what you want to do.
Yep.
And because the people that you hire to help you, they're gonna have extensive questionnaires and be like, what is
Yep.
the, what are 3 words to describe your brand? How do you want people to feel? What do you want them to take
Yep.
away? What's the experience? And if you don't know, they can't help you.
That's
So
right.
I
That's
would
right.
say, yeah, do today, come to grips with and think about and write it down on paper and tell people in your life, I want to do X, and
Yeah.
by the end of whenever, this is going to come to life.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
scary.
Yeah. So good. I think like even like right now, like when this ends, like people who are like, there's something I want to do and I know what it is. One, I think say it out loud. So why does it have
Totally.
to live inside of you? Like get it out, and then like brain dumping. I really do think
Totally.
like people are so I don't know, you just get in your head about like why you
Totally.
can't. Like enough. You are already an expert. Like you as people, as individuals, are already an expert at all the reasons why you can't and why it may not work. So just like be
Totally.
done with that. That's ridiculous. And like brain dump your ideas, because I think you're right. Like paying people to do some work is so critical. Like I don't need to learn how to code. I am paying someone right now to write my website, and it is costing me a pretty penny. That my husband and I were like, I don't know if we have this money, but it was like, no, this is worth it, because I'm not going to do some, like cheap little website. Like if I'm a brand, then I'm going to do this right. So I think you like nailed it. So
Oh, thank you.
I want to just really quickly, if there's any questions for Melanie, please pop them in,
Yeah.
because I have two
Or
more
you
things.
can DM me your
Or you
questions
can
if you
DM.
have. Yeah.
Follow her at Lucky and Lovely. Does Everly Organics have an Insta?
Yeah, it's at Everly Organics on
Okay,
Insta, and it's linked in my bio on Lucky and Lovely as
okay.
well.
Follow her both places, please, and then you can DM her. You can shop Lucky and Lovely, her website with just the coolest stuff, and then I know, and then you can go to everlyorganics.com.
Yes,
Okay, and
everlyorganics.com.
there are two things for you to like put into your cart and make happen right now, and then
Yes.
my like final question for you is like at the end of your life, like what do you want people to know like about both your work and your personal life, who you were?
I just want them to know that like I'm a person who I really want people to I wanted to make pretty things and make people happy. Like I say this to my friends all the time, and like my good close group of girlfriends who are my great encouragers, and we just talk about our goals and things that we want to do all the time. And I'm just like, I love creating my store with my apparel and my stationery and
Mhm.
the gifts and the things and the lifestyle brand that has come from that. And then with the beauty and wellness, I think it's also lifestyle as well, and the life that I want to live. And
Yeah,
things are beautiful and they make you feel beautiful and they
yeah,
make you feel well and they make you feel better and you feel good about purchasing them. And so there's all these reasons to feel good, and they're also pretty. And I just want people to feel like Melanie cared deeply
hmm,
about other people, and to be honest about, she didn't always get it right. She didn't all everything didn't always get delivered on time, and there were times when she was a hot mess and she didn't answer this email back, and this took forever. But at the end of the day, like she tried her hardest, and she cares deeply for people. And
hmm.
yeah, that's what I
Oh,
wanted
that's so good. Well, I'm going to tell you the two words that I think of when I think of
to
you.
know.
One, one is life and two is giving. Like, we always say, oh, girl, that gives me life. But you, I would say from day one, are someone who gives so much life. I remember the first time I talked to you, like, I'm an extrovert, so I get energy from people. But I get like, what is it? I don't play video games. Like, remember Super Mario when he ate like a mushroom or something and it got big? I don't know. Like,
Power up.
yeah, power up. Like I feel like when I talk to you, that's like boop, boop, boop. Like I'm like power up. Like I just you give so much life to people, and I know that if that's I mean I know that everyone when I talk about you, everyone's like my girl. Like everyone feels like they're your like ride or die. I mean,
Absolutely
so that has
right.
something to do with how you treat people. And then the second thing is you're very giving. Like you're a massively giving person. Just your wealth of wisdom, like whatever you have, and that like you just give. Like you're a very present person. So I appreciate you in my life, and I appreciate you coming on today. And I
I
hope that
appreciate
everybody
you.
learned so much.
Thank
So
you for having me here. I was so nervous. I was telling my husband, but this is actually really relaxed me, made me feel so good.
yeah,
And I'm just tickled pink that we are friends and sisters, and I can't wait
for life.
to get out of here so I can come to LA and hug you.
Yes, please, and thank you. And I cannot wait to get my hands on the. I'm gonna go to your website today. I'm excited. This is
Thank you,
awesome. So
girl.
thank you. Have a
Everyone
great
have a
weekend.
great Friday.
I'm going to Whole Foods now.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, girl.